Greetings, y'all. We're doing the fourth WOD of the second part of dynamic web applications, and I think this is going to be the final WOD we're going to do, but I think I'm planning on a little bit of a post-WOD warm down for all of you so that you get a chance to do a few more things, not under the WOD, high pressure, type as fast as you can mode, but just more recreationally so that you get more experience fiddling around with um, with dynamic web applications. But I'm hopeful at this point that you're starting to feel pretty comfortable, that you understand, you're getting the vibe for Scala templates, and that you're feeling pretty good about yourself. That's what I'm hoping. I want to show you in this WOD one fairly useful aspect of the Play framework, which is it's the Java global. And it enables you to do things when the system starts up and when the system shuts down. And generally, you're going to have some stuff, that you're going to want to do to initialize the system, or generally you won't be connecting to databases in this, or you won't have to explicitly connect to databases. That'll be kind of handled by the framework for you. But anyway, this can be a helpful thing to know about. So we're going to play around with it here. And there's going to be one significant bummer about doing it, which involves check style, that I've played around with for quite a while this afternoon and have kind of given up on for the moment. So we're going to have to deal with a check style error, which kind of is junk. But anyway, so there's this global object. It's very simple to use. We're going to put it in the default package. That's why we get this problem that we're about to have. And then we implement this onStart method, and we can do anything we want. Okay, so let's pretend that when we start up our system, just to have some initialization code, we want to fill out our, provide some sample values, some sample contacts. So we'd like when the system comes up to have 4 values in there. Okay, so let's get going on this. And so what we need to do is create a branch. And we'll call this DigitsInit 1. And so we'll make this branch, and it says that there, and maybe just for, we'll do our clean compile run thing to just to make sure that everything's copacetic, and we go here, we click home, things start up, and it all looks good. It looks the way it did right at the end of the last WOD. Okay, so we're ready. Let's start the timer. So finish. No, not that one. Finish and start. We're going to enable check style. This is kind of the unfortunate thing we're going to do. Generally, I like doing it. This time, I'm not happy about it. And we're going to initialize the system. So we have to create a global class. So what this means is the object must be defined in the root package. So that means it's supposed to go right up here at the app level. And we're going to make a class, and we're going to call it global. And we'll put it in here. And then we want it to extend global settings. Okay, so there's 2 problems here. We don't know what global settings is, so we can just do an import play.global settings extends. That was actually the real problem. And it's going to want a Java doc, so we'll say provide initialization code for the for the digits application. Okay, so that one goes away. Oops, we need a space there. That one goes away. But this one is not going to go away because it's missing a package info file. And if we put one at that top level, we can't actually do it because it's the default package. There is no package to document with a package info. So I tried putting the file up there, and you just can't put it up there because a package info file, to be a package info file, has to have a package declaration. And there is no package declaration for the default package, as far as I know. All right, so we're going to live with that until I figure out a way to deal with it. There's also, and now I went to the check style, there are these things called suppression filters. So we could define a suppression filter and provide a new XML file which indicates that we don't want to do check style. We don't want to do that Javadoc API check at the default package level. That would be one way around it. I could also enable a thing to say, to turn off check style for that line. That would be another thing we could do. I'm going to play around with it and try to figure out what, the best way to get check style to do the right thing in this case, because this is just a framework issue. There's no way around it. We can't provide a, the other thing I looked at was trying to reset the root package for the Play framework. That's going to, add all sorts of shenanigans to your code, and it's crazy to be doing that just because we got this silly check style error. So the one thing I need to do is suppress the check style warning, but I haven't figured out the way that I want to do that yet. So we're just going to live with a check style warning in this WOD for reasons that I find completely bummer. Okay, and so then we just using the documentation as a guide, we will implement this onStart method, and we'll import play.application, and we'll write it. We will write a so strange public void onStart application app. Okay. Anyway, initialize the system with some sample contacts. Okay, and then there's an @param. Don't know why the application, why we didn't get that for free. It's irritating. Okay, that one goes away. And so what we want to do now is we want to add something to contact DB. So let's say contact DB dot, and then we can only add contact form datas. So let's do that. Okay. So we got to get one of these form data things. Let's go into the contact form data class and look at that. And what we find is we have a constructor. It takes a contact. It's a little irritating because what we really want is we don't want to create a contact just to create a contact form data. So one thing we could try here, which is kind of fun, we could go to source, generate constructor using fields. Well, we don't want to provide the ID field for these default ones because that's going to actually be provided by the contact DB, but we do want the other ones. And we want to omit the call to the super, and we want to generate constructor comments, so we can say OK. And that's kind of nice. So we create a new contact form data object manually. So the first name, the last name, telephone, and the telephone type. Okay? So having done that, what we can then do is go back to our global object, and we can say, actually, to add a contact, we want to say new contact form data, and it's going to be a first name, it's going to be a last name, it's going to be a telephone number, and it's going to be a telephone type, and it's going to be a semicolon. Okay, so now we need to import that, save it out, and looks fairly good. So let's, and of course we still have this, missing package Javadoc, but frankly I don't know a good way to deal with it. So let's just run our system, see if we get any errors. It starts, and there we have our initial person, our initial contact. So We need to add 4. So just to make it somewhat realistic, that's 4. And work, mobile, and Smith, and Jones, and we can have a couple, 2 Johnsons. Then we can refresh this. Okay, and we see that like Chemo Johnson, he's home. We can edit him, change his home to mobile, click, and Chemo has now got a mobile phone number. So everything works exactly the way we want it to. It's just that we don't have to always be manually entering our contacts. So that took about, let's call it 8 minutes RX for that. Not very hard to do. Just wanted to give you some experience with another kind of corner of the Play framework, and whip this off once just so you've got a sense for it, and if you ever need initialization, you'll know where to go.